If you're a creator, you've definitely heard the promise of digital products. You know, that dream of building something one time and then selling it forever. But for most people, that dream just doesn't happen. Today, we're going to crack the code on why that is and, more importantly, how to fix it, using some amazing insights from the book Digital Product Factory. All right, let's get into it. I mean, it's the ultimate lure, right? This idea that you can create an ebook or maybe a set of templates or a course and then just, make money while you're sleeping. It's such a powerful vision, and it's what pulls millions of us into this whole creator world. But there is a huge, huge disconnect between that dream and what actually happens. And this slide right here, this is the massive reality check. Industry reports show that a staggering 90%, that's 9 out of 10, of new digital products make absolutely zero sales. Zilch. Not just a few, not less than I hoped for, I'm talking nothing. So what in the world is going so wrong? Why does this dream fall so flat for almost everyone? Well, before we can even get to the solution, we have to tear down the biggest myth of them all. This is the one that trips almost everyone up. It's a really seductive story that's been sold to us for years. But honestly, it sets creators up for failure before they even write a single word. You've seen this phrase everywhere, right? Build it once, get paid forever. It's the core promise of so many online gurus. And the idea is that all the hard work is just front-loaded into making the thing, and then after that, you can just kick back and watch those sales notifications roll in. It sounds incredible, but it's fundamentally misleading. And here's the truth. Here's the crucial reality check. Real passive income isn't a replacement for work. It is the result of a ton of active work. It's the prize you get for building a really robust system for creating, for marketing, and for distributing. The income might feel passive way down the line, but believe me, the process to get there is anything but. So if it's not about just building a fantastic product, then why do 90% of them fail? Most people's first guess is, well, the product probably just wasn't good enough. But the real reason is often something else entirely. And once you get it, it is a total game changer. So our guide through this is Mehmet Aydin, the author of Digital Product Factory. And trust me, he learned this lesson the absolute hard way. His very first digital product was this AI prompt package for making anime art. He poured days into it, he uploaded it, and for weeks, you know what he heard? Crickets. Nothing. Zero sales. And this was his light bulb moment. He thought his product was a total dud, but then, just as an experiment, he started building a simple distribution system around it. Sharing it on Twitter, writing a quick blog post about it, and suddenly the exact same product started to sell. The product itself hadn't changed one bit. What changed was the system around it. And this just illustrates the fundamental equation of digital products so perfectly. You can have the best, most amazing product in the entire world, but if nobody knows it exists, or if it's not shown to the right people in the right way, its sales potential is zero. An average product with a great system will always outperform a great product with no system. So this big realization brings us right to the core concept of the book, the factory model. And this is a complete mindset shift that moves you away from obsessing over one single perfect product and gets you focused on building a resilient, repeatable system instead. So let's define this really clearly. The factory model isn't about creating one single masterpiece. Nope. It's about building an assembly line, a whole system that can consistently pump out and distribute a portfolio of smaller, more targeted products. It's about thinking like a factory manager, not just a lone artist hoping for a hit. Now, what's so cool about this slide is how it perfectly lays out the two different ways of thinking. The old way is super high risk, right? You bet everything on one big idea, you launch and hope, and if it fails, it's just devastating. But the factory approach, it spreads that risk out. And this is the best part. A failure isn't some disaster. It's just a data point that helps you make your next product even better. Okay, so all this sounds great in theory, but how do you actually start building this factory? Well, the very first piece of machinery you need to build is your idea engine. This is the system that makes sure you always have a pipeline of validated, market-ready ideas. One of the biggest complaints you hear from creators is, I just can't find any good ideas. But the book argues that's the wrong way to look at it. The problem isn't a lack of creativity, it's the lack of a repeatable process. Once you have a system, ideas are literally everywhere. The real challenge is just picking which one to build next. And the book lays out this beautifully simple weekly routine. On Monday, you scan places like Reddit and Etsy, but you're not looking for product ideas. You're looking for problems. What are people complaining about? What do they wish they had? Then on Wednesday, you filter those raw ideas. And by Friday, you've picked the most promising one and you're getting ready to test it. It's just a simple, repeatable workflow. Look, if you remember just one single thing from this whole explainer, please make it this fundamental shift in your thinking. It is not about the product. It is all about the system. These principles right here are the heart and soul of the factory model. Your first product's real job isn't to make you a millionaire. Its job is to teach you how to build your system. Pumping out several good enough products teaches you way more than spending a year on one perfect one. Every launch is an experiment, and real, lasting success comes from a whole portfolio, not from betting on a single lottery ticket. And this is the call to action. Stop stressing about finding that one in a million perfect idea. Instead, focus all that energy on building your first simple machine, that repeatable process for finding, creating, and distributing value. That is the real asset you're building. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. When you look at your own projects, your own ambitions, what are you really building? Are you building a one-off product that you just hope will succeed? Or are you building a resilient factory that's designed for success in the long run? Your answer to that could change absolutely everything.